Hi everyone, this is Megan with Left in Knots, and today I'm going to show you how to make an ear saver to be worn with face masks. For this project, you will need some cotton yarn, a 5.5 millimeter crochet hook, some scissors, 2 buttons, at least 3/4 inch, an inch would be better, but at least a 3/4 inch button, and a yarn needle. So to start this project, we are going to tie a slip stitch, and we are going to chain 18. These ear savers end up about 5 to 6 inches long, but you can always adjust for your size preference by adding or subtracting stitches. There's no magical stitch count for this project. It's just however long you want them to end up being. So there I have chained 18. Now I'm going to double crochet in the 3rd chain from my hook, which is 1, 2, 3, that one right there. So yarn over, insert your hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through 2 loops on your hook. So there's your first stitch. Now I'm going to double crochet across the rest of these chain stitches. So since I skipped 2 chain stitches at the beginning here and did a double crochet in my 3rd chain stitch, we're going to end up with 16 stitches across. And again, if you change the number of chain stitches you start with to get a longer or shorter ear saver, totally fine. The process is the same to make these regardless. So I'm going to double crochet in each of these chain stitches across. I like to work, we're going to be crocheting on both sides of this chain stitch. When I'm doing this technique, I like to start on this side of the chain stitch where it has kind of that bump. And then when I work on the back side, I like to work through the loops, the V shape to the stitch. That's not absolutely necessary, but it's best if you try not to twist your work or twist your chain as you're working across it. I'm using a cotton yarn for this project, and the pattern for this is written suggesting a cotton yarn only for its durability, washability. That being said, I think acrylic could work as well. And it's a great scrap buster project. It really doesn't take much yarn. And I know that people who wear masks for long portions of their day really appreciate these. So these are a good project if you're looking for a way to help donate to hospitals, nursing homes, grocery stores, any of those stores that require employees to wear masks all day. I'm sure that they would appreciate some of these. Of course, always check before you're donating to make sure that they need and want some, but I know I've been able to donate to some local hospitals here where I'm at. My mother-in-law is a pharmacist, so I was able to help out her team with these. I have a few different styles of ear savers published at the pattern link that I'm going to include with this video. This is just the most complex out of the 3, and so this is the one I'm filming. I also have one that fits around a ponytail, and then one that is worked in rows instead of around a chain like this. So there are options if you don't care for this style of crocheting. But this is a good technique to know how to do. I have some bags and totes that also start with this technique, like a bottom oval shape. So this is actually a good crochet technique just to have in your back pocket to reference for other patterns as well. So I've double crocheted across that chain stitch. I have 16 double crochets right now. This was the last chain stitch that I worked into here. Right there. I am going to crochet 2 more double crochets into that same space to turn the corner so that I can begin crocheting along the back side of the chain. So I've already got 1 in there. I'm going to double crochet number 2 and double crochet number 3. So there you kind of turned your corner, and now you're working along the back side of your chain. And so you've already worked into that first, or I guess the last chain of your row with that 3 double crochet in 1. So now you're going to move on to this next space here. And like I said, I just like to pick that front and back loop up like a regular crochet stitch. See if I can get to focus there. There we go. If your chain stitches are too tight, this will be difficult. So you want to keep them a little bit loose. And you're just going to continue crocheting along the back side of that chain, and you can see it's starting to make that curved long oval shape. So as I'm coming up to the end here, I've already worked into this first stitch of my chain row once. And again, to turn that corner, we need a total of 3 stitches. So since I've already got 1 stitch in there, all I'm going to add is 2 more stitches to this very first chain stitch that we worked into. So there's number 1. Here's number 2. That helps us make that rounded edge. And then we're going to skip these. These were our chain stitches from the beginning. We're going to skip those and slip stitch back into that first stitch. So again, if you can see that there, this is that first stitch that we double crocheted. We're going to slip stitch back into the top of that stitch. Pull tight. And tie off your yarn. You'll weave in these ends. Tuck those under, pretend I just weaved those in. You will sew on your buttons, and you will have an ear saver for face masks. Again, these are great for donations, even if you just find yourself having to wear a mask more than normal these days. It's just a way to get those bands away from behind the ears and helps your ears keep from getting sore because the elastic can go around these buttons instead of the ears. So again, I have 3 different styles of ear savers on my blog, Left in Knots, and that link is below. I hope you find this tutorial helpful. For more free patterns and video tutorials, visit my blog at www.leftinknots.com. And if you're watching this on YouTube, please subscribe for future videos. Thank you. Happy crocheting.